Hey, what's going on, guys? So I had a viewer, Tillerman7 OH, I'm assuming the OH stands for Ohio, but it could be something else, said that he was not able to get good lathers from his Sterling Soap Company soaps. He mentioned that he had purchased several, so I'm not sure if he's specifically talking about the beef tallow or the mutton tallow, but since I'm using this to shave tonight, I'm going to go ahead and do a test lather with this just to show you and just to show you Tillerman and whoever else would like to see how I at least lather Sterling's soap. Now, like I said, this is the this is the mutton tallow, the sheep tallow, and then this is the beef tallow. I'm going to be using the mutton tallow, but it's the same exact lathering method that I'm using. So always with my brushes, I always soak them in water, and typically I'll do this a couple of times until I don't see any more water just pouring out of the thing, like that. All right. And then at that point, I know that, the brush definitely has water in the bristles, but it's not a ton. All right. With Badger and Boar, I let the knot soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. While you hop in the shower, go ahead and do that. With synthetics, you definitely don't have to soak the brush, but you definitely, before you start lathering in the tub, you do want to add water to the bristles. So maybe just dip them in water or run them under the faucet real quick. All right, I like to wipe my face prior, and then I just go straight into the soap. And with Sterling, I don't necessarily have a specific amount of time that I lather. 30, 45 seconds. It's probably a little too long, to be honest. Considering I don't shave my goatee, so. But for the sake of this video, I will lather the goatee area just to see. So we're at about 15 seconds here. I'm going to do a 30-second load. Okay, so that's where we are. Have a good bit of lather there. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse off the tub. All right. And then this is basically how I lather most of the time when I'm shaving off of camera, because when I'm on camera, I have to keep it within a certain time, because I don't want to have a 30-minute long video and unfortunately have you guys watching that video and boring you. So I have to be respectful of your time. My assumption would be that you're not loading long enough, although I don't necessarily know. What I can tell you is I have very, very hard water here. I've talked about that in one of my other lathering videos of Mitchell's wool fat. I know that, other water, soft water, is very easy to lather up soaps. Hard water typically isn't, but Sterling, for me at least, isn't an issue with lathering up. Sterling can take a lot of water, so if you have a little bit too much water in the brush, it's not a problem whenever you start doing this. So what I like to do is I like to paint on like that, basically, and then I'll add a little bit of water to the tips from my mug here. And I will just begin working that lather. And you can see the lather forming all around here. And then I'll just paint that over and continue the process. Again, I don't do this on video because it just takes too long, and I can get a serviceable shave with my straights with the shorter lathering times. I prefer doing it like this, but again, I have to be respectful of all of my viewers' time. and keep the videos within a, you know, decent time range, 13 to 15 to maybe 20 minutes max. I don't want to have a 30-minute video. So this is literally all I do. Lathers flying everywhere. You can get a bit more higher structure lather than this, although in my opinion that's not necessarily a great thing, especially for Stirling. I feel like the nice Stirling has a lot going for it in terms of the slickness. Its main ingredient is tallow, not stearic acid. So that is a great thing about Stirling. Again, and when I'm doing this, what I'm trying to do at least is I'm trying to build up enough lather in the brush for the following passes. And that avoids me having to, again, take longer to lather in subsequent passes. So you can see, I mean, the lather it's there for sure. And it has a nice sheen to it. It's definitely well hydrated. There's no big bubbles in this. There's no bubbles in this at all, actually. So, but yeah, this is how I lather Stirling. You could bowl lather it as well. I don't have as much experience bowl lathering, although I do have experience bowl lathering it. But I just prefer facial lathering. And we could keep going and build this lather up to the moon if we'd like. And again, this was a, you know, it was a moderately saturated brush with water and went straight into the tub. Always rinse your tubs off, by the way. Like you see, this is the tub here. I rinsed it out. I'll set it upside down, let that drip for the next 12 hours, and then I'll let it sit open for another 12 hours and let the air dry it. But I guess that's necessarily a different video. But all right, so that's kind of the build up on the brush. Ton here. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add a little bit more water to the bristles just because, you know, we're just having fun with this. Like I said, Stirling can take water. This lather is just blowing up. So honestly, 30 seconds is probably far too long. I'd probably keep it between 15 and 20. Yeah, this is a bit insane. Plenty enough lather here for 3, 4, 10 passes. I mean, look. And it's good structured as well. I mean, like I said, that's a nice peak. I can't lie about that. That's a nice peak. Yeah, that's a nice peak as well. Okay. So, I don't know. You know, I'm just playing with the lather at this point. I'm sorry. It's we're at an 8-minute video, but this is how I lather, honestly. When I'm not on video, this is how I like to lather. To me, this is fun. You know, the whole lathering process is just fun. You know, we're all kids at heart, let's be honest. And we like to play with our toys and like to play with our food and, you know, like to play with our lathers. And our toys make it bigger, boats, vehicles, you know, ATVs or whatever. And yeah, I'm done. It's just blowing up too much. 30 seconds is definitely too long, Tillerman. Do not load for 30 seconds. Maybe try, well, like I said, I'm not sure how long you're loading in the first place. Maybe you're not loading enough. Maybe you're loading with too dry of a brush. That's a possibility. So that's what we have. I mean, obviously this is a pass here. I'd say that this is another pass here. Let's go ahead and pull everything out of the knot. Yeah, I mean, we've got enough lather here for, like I said, 10 passes. So, and this is a very structurally sound lather. So, nice peaks. All right, guys, that's going to be the video. I hope that helped some of you that may have trouble with lathering Stirling, or maybe just with lathering any soap. You know, like I said, this is how I lather. You can do it. There's just like wet shaving and just like stropping a straight razor and holding straight. There's millions of ways to do it, guys. Find what works for you and stick with it. I'll see you next shave.